today's experiment is called the naked egg experiment. You're going to be using raw eggs for this, and as you know, raw eggs are extremely fragile. The eggs you may have used in an Easter egg hunt were either plastic or hard-boiled. These are raw, so if you drop it, it would crack and the yolk would spill all over. So very carefully, you're going to put a raw egg into a glass container. These are the materials you need, and I like to write them down ahead of time. You're going to need raw eggs. They're not boiled, they're not cooked. You're going to need vinegar, and you're also going to need some kind of a glass container. Do not use a metal container because vinegar and a metal container will react with each other. So, some kind of a glass container. You're going to completely submerge your egg in vinegar. You want to make sure that the vinegar is covering the egg. You're actually going to leave this sit for 24 hours. Now, as I'm looking at my egg, I am starting to see very, very tiny bubbles form on the eggshell. I'm going to give you a close-up look, but there's so little I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Those eggs, the egg bubbles, is actually showing that there's a chemical reaction happening. The shell of the egg contains calcium, and the vinegar is a weak acid, and the acid in the vinegar is slowly going to eat away at the calcium in the shell. You're going to leave it like this for 24 hours. Now, just a little trivia, if there was a baby chick growing in this egg, which there's not, the kind of eggs you buy at the grocery store do not have baby chick embryos. But if you were on a farm, the baby chick embryo actually gradually gets the calcium from the shell to build its bones. Like when you drink milk, you're getting calcium for your bones. Well, the chick gets calcium from the shell of the egg. And as the chick gets bigger and their bones get stronger, the shell gets weaker and weaker because it's losing calcium. And that's another reason why the chick can break out of the shell. The shell has been weakened because the calcium's been taken out of the shell. So check out all those little bubbles. Now, what I like to do is I like to make a little sketch of what I'm seeing. So, this back here. So, as I look at my eggshell and I'm seeing lots of bubbles, I'm going to put that on my sketch. Whenever I do an experiment, I like to have a little sketch and I like to label things. So, I see bubbles all over my egg, and it was probably a little hard for you to see it on the videotape, but you're going to see it really well on your egg. So I'm drawing bubbles all over my eggshell, and some of them are starting to float up in the water. I'm going to even label those bubbles, and those bubbles are coming from the reaction of the acid in the vinegar eating away at the calcium in the shell. Now, what I need you to do is let this go for 24 hours. Tomorrow, you're going to get rid of the old vinegar. Now, you're going to have to put your hand in it. You're going to have to kind of hold the egg and cradle the egg carefully while you pour away the old vinegar. And you might want to have a parent help you do that. Do not use a metal spoon because the metal spoon might break the egg and break the yolk. Use your fingers and kind of cradle it get rid of the old vinegar, and then you're going to pour new vinegar in there with fresh vinegar. You're going to let it sit for a whole extra day, so that on the third day, you're going to pour out the vinegar really carefully, holding it with your hand, and you're going to rinse this egg under water. And what you will see on the third day is a naked egg. The whole shell will have gotten eaten away by the acid in this vinegar. And you'll see a clear membrane holding the yolk and the white part of the egg. And that's why we call it the naked egg experiment. So, you're going to get a little dirty. The vinegar doesn't smell great, but you're seeing a chemical reaction happening. Okay? And just remember, it's the calcium in the eggshell that's getting eaten away. So think about a chick when it's growing in an egg. It's using the calcium in the egg to build its bone structure. And that's why the egg becomes really weak, and that's why the chick can break out or hatch out of the egg. Now, once again, the eggs you buy at the grocery store do not have chick embryos in them. These are unfertilized eggs. Okay, so I'm going to also show you some pictures of what my egg looks like on day 3. And if you want, you can post some pictures of what yours looks like. Now, yours may break. You may want to set up 2 eggs or 3 eggs just in case one does break. But remember, don't use metal spoons. Okay, good luck, and I hope you see a naked egg when you're done.